Without a word of a lie, Tony and I fight every time we have to put the fitted sheet on.
Oh,
we can, because I say,
agony,
no,
this
is the bottom right. He says, no, it's not.
Why don't they label it? Like, it's just, like, exactly.
And that's what the boys have done.
And how good are the lads from the Lad Collective? They're living up to the name. OK, let's move on. Meghan Markle has copped some pretty negative press in her time, with ex-staff members describing her as difficult, demanding, or worse, a dictator in high heels.
But her former bodyguard has come to her defence. Steve Davies shared his experience in a recent interview, offering some insights into what Meghan was really like before she became a Duchess. And Steve now joins us live from Toronto in Canada. Hi, Steve. Lovely to see you.
Good morning. How you doing?
We are great. The network behind Suits hired you to look after Meghan. This was back in 2017. What information were you given about her and the job heading into it?
Well, the initial call came in from the US. It was one of my associates, and he said, "Are you available to do a detail?" I told him I was, and I didn't get any information prior to picking Meghan up from the airport the first time. They kept it very quiet, or hush-hush, NDAs were signed. So I went to the airport with our transportation team and picked her up, put her in the vehicle, and we had a conversation. And she decided that she wanted me to be the lead agent on the security detail, and that's how I got the job.
Steve, your version of Meghan, it's actually intriguing because you believe she's been unfairly judged in the media. I mean, we've heard others describe her, you know, as responsible for relentless bullying, screaming, fuming, barking orders, and a huge number of members of the team actually quit when Harry and her moved to California in 2020. What's she really like?
What you've got to understand is that we work closely together, myself and Meghan. We built a relationship, we built trust. Everybody has a bad day at times. One of the things I've found with the media and the social media information is the fact that if people are talking about her and they're saying nice things, it's accepted. If people are talking about her and saying nasty things, more people read the article just to find out the garbage. All in all, she's a good person. She's got a warm heart, big heart. She helps charities. She's a really good person to be around.
How crazy did things get for her when people found out that she was dating Prince Harry? Were there any close calls? Were you around at that time?
I was around when the announcement of the engagement came out. It was interesting because prior to that, a week before, we had about 4 or 5 paparazzi outside the house, parking on the streets. As soon as the engagement was announced, it went from 5 to 120. You got media trucks and everything else out there. So what you've got to remember is the fact that she was a celebrity on Suits. She was able to walk around the city, walk her dogs, go out shopping, go out for dinner. As soon as the announcement came out, it was lockdown, stay in the house, and you worry to open the curtains to see who's looking in.
Yeah.
I mean, the paparazzi, I've always said, what's the difference between a stalker and paparazzi? It's a camera lens.
It's a pretty good argument, that's for sure, Steve. And I want to ask you about when she moved to the UK, because your role came to an end, but then you kept in touch, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, we're still in touch. You know, birthday greetings go out, Christmas greetings go out, and everything else. And if there's anything, if they're coming up to Canada, I'll probably get an email or a phone call asking any advice on certain things for security. So it's a long-term relationship that we developed, and H is a great guy. So it's a good relationship.
A lot has been said about Harry and Meghan's security detail. Do you think they should be provided protection from the public purse, or should they be funding it themselves?
While they're in California, and this is my personal opinion, they're paying for it themselves. They have a private security detail. When they're back in the UK, and if they're with the royal family and, you know, doing engagements with the royal family, personally, I think they should have the Royal Protection Detail working with them at that time. It's very difficult to have a private security detail and a government security detail working together in the same arena.
Steve, how, if at all, do you think I guess, the avalanche of fame changed Meghan? I mean, I guess what I'm getting at there is, why do you think public opinion turned on her so feverishly?
From my point of view, again, it's the fact that when Meghan and Harry got together and the engagement was announced, there was a lot of people in the UK that could relate to Meghan and Harry easier than Will and Kate. When they left the UK, they came to Canada, then moved down to LA. That is when the opinion changed, because realistically, the people in the UK could relate to Harry. You know, Harry will go out, he'll go to a pub, have a drink and everything else. And they see more normality with Harry and Meghan at that time than they did with any other members of the royal family.
So you mentioned something about an NDA. You're able to speak to us, though, despite that? Is that going to be okay with Meghan, do you think?
I'll find out tomorrow.
But you say
if you're saying nice things, it's probably all right.
But you say you would happily work with the couple again if they ever were to come back to Canada, so...
I would. It's again, it comes down to the relationship and trust that we've built, and working with them. I'd enjoy it, working with them again in Canada or anywhere else.
Well, we've certainly enjoyed talking to you, Steve. Thank you very much for being with us on The Morning Show.
Not a problem at all. Take care now.
Thank you, Steve. A lot of interesting insights there.
Wasn't it fascinating? He'll be waiting by the phone for the call tomorrow to see whether that's been cleared.